So, if you've clicked on this video, you're probably wondering if NordVPN is any good for using with Netflix, and if it works with Netflix, maybe even how to get it working with Netflix. So, I'm not going to waste any time, I'm going to get straight down to it and run you through it all really quickly. The bottom line is, though, if you were wondering, NordVPN, yes, it's really good with Netflix. It's not just marketing, it's not just people trying to sell you the product. I'm here to tell you, I've spent hundreds of hours using it. Our test team in the office spent thousands of hours trying to use NordVPN with Netflix, and it's really, really good. Really, really consistent. We've been testing it for years, and it unblocks one of the widest ranges of libraries. It streams without buffering, 4K quality as well if you're on a device that supports that, depending on which server you're connected to, although we'll get to that later. And all in all, it's just one of the very best VPNs for Netflix. Also unblocks some of the most libraries. Now, there are so many libraries that it unblocks. You might be wondering, well, which ones are the best? I will give you a quick walkthrough right now, using 3 of the most popular libraries that NordVPN can unblock with Netflix. Starting with the United States. As you might be able to tell, I'm sat in the UK, so the US library for other people in the UK, people in countries that aren't the United States, is one of the most popular ones. It's got tons of great content on there and one of the biggest content libraries. So all we do is we open up the NordVPN app and we connect to a US server. Now chances are the US server that you pick first time round, or that it automatically picks for you, will work. NordVPN has done a fantastic job of optimizing its United States servers to work with US Netflix. So pick one, connect, refresh Netflix, or open it in a new tab in your browser and log in, and we scroll down the content, we take a look, and there it is. You should be seeing content that is bespoke to the United States or that is only available in the United States. Let's try it again with another popular library. How about Japan? A little bit different. There's tons of stuff on there. If you haven't checked it out, I recommend you do. I think personally that it's one of the best Netflix libraries available, and NordVPN works with it in just the same way. If you go to a Japan server, there are plenty. Connect, refresh that Netflix screen again, or repeat the steps with logging in a new browser window. And yep, you'll see, there you go. Japanese content, all available. And it's not all just in Japanese either. You'll be able to watch lots of English language stuff, or stuff with English subtitles, or whatever language it is you prefer them to be in. Then, finally, a third one, the UK. That's where I am, but it's a very popular library elsewhere in the world, I know that, so why don't we connect to a UK server? And you're probably going to guess what happens. It's just like last time. It connects through, we refresh, and now once it's loaded, there you go, content bespoke to United Kingdom and other regions where it might be available. The important thing to remember here, though, is while we've shown servers kind of spread all over the world there, that the US all the way in the west, the UK down the middle of the time zone line, and then Japan all the way in the east of Asia, you might experience speed drops depending on where you yourself are based in the world. The further that your data has to travel to the VPN server, to the Netflix server, back to yourself again, that can affect buffering, it can affect download speed generally, which might impact your streaming quality. However, NordVPN is one of the fastest VPNs that we've tested, so it kind of really all hinges on how fast your internet connection is to start off with. If you've got a really, really fast connection, 50 or 100 meg plus, you should be fine connected to anywhere in the world, and you should be streaming Netflix in at least full HD, probably, hopefully 4K as well. So what happens when it goes wrong? Because it can go wrong, and that's okay. NordVPN has tons and tons of servers, and you might connect to one, try to watch Netflix in that region, and it won't load. How do you know which one to use? Well, we've outlined it on our website, and we try and keep the list up to date as best that we can. When we discover a server isn't working, we'll swap it out for one that is. But right now, for NordVPN, we would suggest for the United States that you use servers 6613, 8363, or 5510. That's for the US. For Japan, 562, 658, or 566. And then for the United Kingdom, 2271, 2333, or 1810. I'll put them all in the description below so you can take a look at them afterwards. You don't have to pause this video, they'll be there. Or you can take a look on our page, specially dedicated to NordVPN. And as I said, those lists aren't permanent. They do change. Netflix is always trying to cut down on VPN usage, and it knows how many customers NordVPN has, how many people are using NordVPN to stream with it. So they will be attempting to shut down those servers that work as best they can. But as far as we can tell, they're still working at the time of you watching this video, so give them a go. If not, like I said before, jump around a bit, try some servers out. It might sound like an annoyance, but it probably won't take you too long at all to find one that works. That being said, there are some instances where there simply won't be a server that works with Netflix. Not every library is seen as super popular, not every library is prioritized by NordVPN, and there are some servers where it doesn't matter how many you try or how many the service has, you just won't be able to unblock the Netflix region from there. That can be annoying, but it also doesn't have to be that big of an issue. You can mitigate it by, if you go to a website that I'll show you in a moment, you can see content available across every Netflix library, and what you can do is find the content that you want to watch, and then find a different region that it's available in. Hopefully there'll be more than one, and you can just connect to a server that works in that region instead. And then you don't have to worry about the server not working. Now that website is called unlogs.com. You can see it here on the screen. Type in a title you want to look for. Here we can see a popular one there, and it's available in more than one region. So just try all the ones that it's available in, and hopefully you'll get it streaming with Nord. So a lot of people want to know what the secret is, right? How is Nord so good with Netflix? Well, why is it good with Netflix? Why is one VPN better than another VPN with Netflix? The answer, it's relatively straightforward, but there's also a little bit more to it. The straightforward thing is that some are just better than others. It comes as no surprise. NordVPN is a massive VPN, probably the biggest backed VPN, and probably the most popular VPN in the world. That means tons of money, tons of resources. And they put that money and those resources into a dedicated team with a lot of people working on it, whose job is basically solely to make sure that NordVPN will work with Netflix, which sounds crazy, but it's a really popular reason for people to buy NordVPN, and they know that if it stopped working with Netflix for any prolonged period of time, people simply wouldn't subscribe to NordVPN anymore. So that's why they have this whole team dedicated towards it, and that's how they're able to keep it running so well. You combine that with the fact that it has so many servers, each one producing a different set of IP addresses, each one being designed to try and fool Netflix, then Netflix is going to have a very hard time trying to stop that, because for all the money that NordVPN puts towards it, Netflix has to try and match that, and perhaps it's not the biggest priority for Netflix, at least not compared to the priority level it's at for NordVPN. Now, NordVPN isn't the absolute best VPN when it comes to Netflix. It comes very, very close, but there are some other VPNs that can do ever so slightly better we found in our testing. I'll put a link to them in the description below for you, but it's still one of the very, very best, one of the most consistent. And what happens with that level of trustworthiness that's established over years with the team and the size of the product that it's built up is that you can kind of rely on it to do the job. There may be ups and downs, and there may be ons and offs. Sometimes you might try and watch Netflix on a server you've used dozens of times before and it won't work. But because it's NordVPN, you kind of know that they're probably going to get it up and running again soon, or there'll be a different server you can use, or you can even contact live chat and you can ask them, hey, I want to watch US Netflix, how can I go about doing that? Do you know what servers are working right now? And they'll probably have an up-to-date list that they can tell you, and you can try one and you're up and running, and the live chat's 24/7 and really quick to respond in multiple languages. So you're kind of set no matter what's going on with Nord. And there you have it. That's just a brief overview. That's the basics, the top level stuff covered with NordVPN and Netflix. There's a lot more detail we could go into, but really that's everything you need to know. The whole thing is designed to be as simple of a process as possible. You log into Netflix, you turn on your VPN, you refresh that page, and you should be able to watch whatever it is you want to watch in that region. And there's a whole lot of regions you can do that with as well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment below, or visit top10vpn.com, or you can email me directly. Either way, and I'll do my best to respond as soon as I can. And until then, I'll see you next time.